Good morning. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Margaret Anderson Kelleher. I'm the Commissioner of Transportation. And I want to just acknowledge that Carrie Robles will be speaking in a few minutes. I got that? Yes, all right. And Governor Walz will be speaking as well. We have joined with us a number of representatives from LIUNA who are the front line of work on the roads here in Minnesota. So we are grateful that Governor Walz has been highlighting road safety all week long and driver safety. And today we are here. You can see a bit of an active construction zone that we have been working on out on the 94 corridor to do a repaving this year. And the important thing is for Minnesotans to realize there are brave men and women every day who are out on these roads doing the work for us in all hours of the day. It's our job as drivers and motorists to make sure that we are obeying the laws of Minnesota and keeping those folks safe, that they can go home to their families, whether that's the next morning or early the next day. Since 1960, 35 MnDOT employees have died in construction zones and 15 contractors. We've had over 120 serious injuries that have happened in the construction zone alone. In the past year, there have been 31 fatalities in work zones in Minnesota of all different stripes of Minnesotans. Work zone safety is everyone's responsibility. Work zones are wherever. Some people may wonder, where is a work zone? A work zone is where you see a flagger, a surveyor, bright yellow, orange, or green vests. You might see cones. You might see a movable sign that has a message on it. You might see a traffic control device. With our new hands-free law in effect, motorists should never, I want to emphasize, never use a cell phone in the work zone. That means even if you're hands-free, you should not be using that in the work zone. We urge every driver to stay alert, to slow down, and especially at night. Unfortunately, last night alone on I-90, there was a very serious crash that resulted in fatalities. And I think it's a good piece of advice that even in the evening or nighttime when you're driving, slow that car down. Make sure you are patient, you are planning for the delay, doing the zipper merge in those work zones. I know sometimes it's hard for Minnesotans. It was hard for me to learn the zipper merge. That means you don't have to merge the minute you see the sign, but you merge at the point where the traffic is coming together. And it's really important. It helps ease the flow of traffic if you do that. It actually makes that merge faster. Never, never enter a blocked or barricaded road. It is for your safety. Minimize the lane changes when you are entering that work zone, and please obey all permitted speed limits. It is a $300 fine if you violate that speed limit in the work zone. Now, one thing that can help all Minnesota motorists is the app 511, 511mn.org. On the app or on the web can really help you plan your trip. It has the up-to-date information on road construction. There actually are 511s in Wisconsin, Iowa. I have them all on my phone. When I'm traveling, I use this. So I want to introduce Carrie Robles. She is a business rep for Local Labor's 563 and is here with us today. Thanks, Carrie.
Hi there. Like the Commissioner said, Carrie Robles with Local 563, business rep. I often visit job sites and talk to the flaggers and other construction workers, and all too often I hear, I almost got hit 6 times today. Oh, that's better than yesterday, it was 10. It's just too dangerous out there, and this is going to be a great law to protect our construction workers. This also hits home for me. Before I came to the local, I was with a general contractor, and 3 years ago this summer, my fellow coworker was hit on a job site by a distracted driver that ran a red light. He had a traumatic brain injury and was out of work for a year, and he's very lucky to be alive, but that could have been avoided. So on behalf of all construction workers and their families, I'd like to thank Governor Walz's team and legislation for passing this bill. It's going to bring all of our construction workers home safe every night. So with that, I'd like to introduce Governor Walz.
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Carrie, thank you. Thank the laborers who built this state, and thank you for bringing the personal side of this of folks who are in the construction zones. Commissioner, once again, thank you. It was your voice that made this legislative session focused on road safety. We're out here this week. Obviously, we're highlighting hands-free yesterday. Some of the things that came out, I just mentioned that I think Hope and I need to do a zipper merge video next, so we'll get them out there.
Right.
But young people are paying attention. Everybody is listening to this. This piece of legislation in work zones, while MnDOT and folks have done a good job of a campaign that give them a break in a work zone, the commissioner's statistics are absolutely unacceptable. Work zones are incredibly dangerous. The flaggers, who are the first ones in those work zones in many places, are at risk. And this piece of legislation, just to let people know, you come into a work zone and you disobey what the flaggers are doing, you put people at risk. Those flaggers are now empowered to take down that driver's license number, and you will be getting a talk to by State Patrol. And so this is about, as the commissioner said, our commitment to zero deaths is real, but I want to also extend my deepest condolences. We had a 2-car accident in Olmsted County last night on I-90 that preliminary reports indicate multiple fatalities, up till 6. These destroy families, destroy people's future, and our commitment is to making sure everything we can do, both infrastructure-wise, policy-wise, and then a thank you to our public safety officers on the enforcement side of things. And I will reiterate what I've been saying all this week, whether it's hands-free, whether it's move over for utilities, or whether it's making sure in the work zones you're following the directions of the flaggers. Our law enforcement find no pleasure in issuing tickets. They find great pleasure in knowing Minnesotans are getting home safely, getting to work safely, and being with their loved ones. So I'm grateful to the team that put this in place. I'd like to give 2 thank yous. One to the Minnesota legislature for prioritizing what, as an elected official, is our #1 job, the safety and security of the people we represent. And then I would like to give a well-earned thank you to the media, who have done a wonderful job this week of the public service announcements and telling the stories and getting an education piece, because we are educating up till the August 1st date, but this education will continue to go on. And it's my hope that hands-free, work zone safety, stay out of the left lane unless you're passing, pull over and give room to utilities and emergency vehicles. It's my hope that those become second nature, like buckling up when you get in the car. Anything we can do to reduce those fatalities is exactly what we're after. So with that, be glad to answer any questions.
Yeah. So the question was, what happens when a flagger sees someone violate either a stop sign or maybe they're speeding and driving erratically? Then the flagger can note the license plate number and be able to report that to law enforcement within 4 hours of the incident happening. And so it's a lot like the analogous situation that many Minnesotans are familiar with is the school bus safety arm law. And so when a school bus is out making a drop off or a pickup of a student on a highway or road, when that arm goes down, you are to stop behind that car, behind that bus, or in front of the bus. If you don't do that, it is current law that a school bus driver can gather the information of your license plate number and report it to law enforcement. So this is a continuation on of that safety law. I just want to say about what the governor talked about on Highway 90. We don't know every circumstance about this. I think this is another important reason why moving from the left lane when you're on a 4-lane or 6 lane road is very important. If you have the very bad fortune to have someone who gets on that highway going in the wrong direction, they are much more likely to be driving in that left lane towards you because they think it's a divided highway or non-divided highway going in each direction. And so I think that this is another highlight of why moving over from the left lane is a common sense safety issue for Minnesotans. If you're driving in the right lane, you have a lot more opportunity to respond to what's coming at you. We don't usually expect to see a wrong-way driver on I-94 or on I-90 or 35, but it does happen. And so moving over to that right lane is important.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like everyone to note, if you don't think this is dangerous business, it's happening right in front of us. Cars coming by at 60 miles an hour, folks doing their work. The cones and the guidance that's been given back down the road are one of the only things that's protecting these workers. And so it's really important, and this is an extension of that. So I very much appreciate the Commissioner knows the safety and security of our motorists is the priority. The safety and consideration of our workers is our priority. Sure. You can introduce yourself and let them know.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ken Johnson. I'm the State Work Zone and Pavement Marking Engineer with the MnDOT Office of Traffic Engineering. And the way the law is written is if a flagger notes someone that is violating their direction, so a flagger has the ability to stop traffic, hold it, and then release it. And if someone violates that direction, the flagger is able to take down the information and provide that information to enforcement, and that's what that 4-hour window is for. Not for the hands-free issue, as the law is written as it stands. I didn't quite hear that full question.
It was whether
The
the question was whether it is an automatic ticket if your license plate is taken down. It is not. It is a report to the local law enforcement agency, whether it's the state patrol, the sheriff, the local police, and then they are going to follow up and do the investigation further with the folks who have been the motorist.
If I could, I just asked Carrie, how often does this happen? How often do you see it? I might have you answer. So,
Well, I see it on a daily basis. And for the most part, a lot of our construction right now is the highway heavy, and there's a ton of flaggers out there. And when I go talk to them, I even see it happen as we're standing out there. So it does happen all the time. People just aren't paying attention, and you can see the chaos that causes when they're flagging, and people just aren't paying attention and following what the flaggers are asking them to do. So then they sometimes whistle, yell, whatever they have to do to get the driver's attention, to get them through the intersection properly, or stop, or whatever that person needs to do to get them safely through. So. Two-lane, four-way stop where people just start going, and or a stop and start, slow or stop. So there's all different scenarios, but it seems like it happens on all of them. They're just not paying attention. You see a car kind of veer off because they weren't paying attention. Traffic slow down and they veer off towards a ditch so they don't rear end somebody. So I mean, that's what I see stopping out of the jobs. So.
all right. If there's nothing further on this, we'll take just a break. I'd be glad to answer questions on further topics in just a moment. So, thank you.